clear. So, but yeah, it's about 11:02 now. We're gonna get the ball rolling. So I appreciate you all signing in. Michael Smith, Roy, Susan, my incredible developer Asan. This couldn't have been possible without him and his entire team. He's here on the call, so quick shout out to him. Roy, Revel, Robert, Reuter, welcome, welcome. So let's get this ball rolling. You all could see my screen, right? You should be able to see my screen. I'm gonna go ahead and get the ball rolling. You should be able to see my second slide. If you do see my second slide, go ahead and put some ones in the chat box. GoToWebinar likes to get a little funky on us sometimes, but I like to make sure that you could actually see this on your end. So I would really appreciate if you put some ones in the chat box. That'll be great. I would appreciate that. Let's see here. Someone is saying that they can't. Dan Seaman could see it. Robert could see it. See my browser. Okay, great. So Susan, Carlos. Okay, great. So let's get the ball rolling. So as you know, my name is Guillermo Mata. It is right now 11:03. It's Thursday. It's February 16th. This webinar is 100% live, so stick around. I'm going to be answering questions at the end of the webinar. I'm also going to be doing some giveaways as well. We had a bunch of people sign up fast when we announced that we were, I'm not going to give it away now, but you just want to stick around. But we had a lot of people take action the last two webinars, so it's pretty cool. This is our last live webinar for Eclicks. After this, we're just going to start diving into it, putting out updates for our users, and just continuing to build what we have here. So a little bit about us, we are a small digital community with over 20,000, digital marketers and consultants, agencies, and we support. We're more like a brotherhood, I like to say, because we support each other, we help each other. I learn from them, they learn from me, and we just continue to build solutions and tools and strategies and efforts to equip you and keep you prepared for the long term. So let's continue to move forward here. So we got a lot to share with you on the webinar. Number one, you're going to discover how you could advertise within email newsletters 100% programmatically. You're going to be able to advertise within GQ, Vogue, over 3,000 plus vetted publishers, 20 million active readers. You're going to learn step by step how you could literally cherry pick clickers by setting very unique preferences such as demographics, location, categories, content type, and more. We share with you what it takes to make the most out of your campaigns. We share key principles to keep in mind, creative types, banners, native formats, and more. Alongside that, we have some really great case studies to share with you as well. These case studies are coming from our partners and connected partners as well. So you definitely want to make sure to stick around. These are not just product-based companies, but these are actually service-based companies as well. So you definitely want to make sure to stay tuned in for that. Alongside that, we give you an inside look at the competition, as in companies out there that are currently offering this as a service. There's not many of them because it's still fresh. So it creates massive opportunity for you. It allows you to, promote this and get it out there. So we also dive into, we share key principles in relation to traffic and then turning those leads into sales. Whenever someone clicks on your email, like the steps that they should take. We also go into, the data. We go into just all of the technicalities behind this, programmatic fees, and lots more. You just definitely want to make tuned in. And most importantly, definitely you want to make sure to take notes throughout this webinar. And welcome again. I see there's a lot more of you signed in, so welcome. Eva from Puerto Rico, welcome. There's so many of you here, it's humbling. So yeah, let's get started and let's get the ball rolling. Remember to take notes through this process. I would really appreciate that. It's now 11:06. Again, this webinar is live. I will be back at the end of the presentation to answer your questions live. So take a second if you're excited for today's innovation. If this is your first time coming out to this webinar, if this is your first time here, you're excited for what's ahead, go ahead and let me know in the chat box if you're excited. Give me the best comments that you have. I love when people are enthusiastic, when they're excited, when they're compassionate, when they're really looking forward to things. So go ahead and let me know in the comments. Awesome. So I see a lot of you leaving some awesome comments. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's get the ball rolling. So programmatic technology continues to advance, now enabling you to advertise along with some of today's uh, most respected brands. And I'm going to share them all with you a little later in this presentation. By the end of this webinar, you'll be granted access to millions of unique readers and thousands of email subscribers. So I want you to process that. I'll say it again, millions of unique readers and email subscribers. We view this from a different perspective because we're literally how I view this is hey, these companies are going to allow me to show my ads to their subscribers. Wow. So it's just direct communication to them. That's really cool. So 3,000 plus respected publishers, and this doesn't even include our other partners that you'll discover by the end of this webinar. But 20 million unique email readers, 100% logged in. These guys are essentially logged into their email, okay? These guys are actively, checking their emails, reading their emails, and the only time that you would essentially pay, and I dive into all of this a little later, but is when they view your ad, okay? So let's continue to move forward here. So basically, you've seen this company around, I'm sure. Bear with me one little moment. You've seen Groupon around, right? I'm sure. How many of you know of Groupon? Do you know who Groupon is? Have you used them in the past? Maybe for any clients? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. Okay, obviously some of you know who Groupon is, right? So 54 million users have subscribed within their email list. So I'm gonna let you process that, okay? That is humongous. That's huge, okay? Huge. So subscribers within their list are already used to receiving content from Groupon, which in short means that if they have something important to share, it's very likely that subscribers will be receptive to it. I want you to process this really quick, okay? This is Groupon. This is a Groupon merchant case study. This is actually not coming from me. This is coming from Groupon. Cactus Salon, congratulations to them because they were able to generate a whopping 65,000 new customers. We've done some due diligence, and in short, this company is based out of Long Island, New York. And how cool is that? That this one company was able to bring them that many customers. Geez, I wonder how they were able to do that. So, resulting in a profitable click for you because in the end, again, it's a conversation between you and their subscribers. So this is just a quick visual, and I have many more visuals for you to share with you throughout this presentation. But this is just to give you an idea as to what it looks like. Like your banners will show above the fold, you have native formats and lots more. So it's all pretty straightforward, right? You create an ad, you show it inside of the email, you get the click. Based off your strategy, you could choose to retarget that click, turn that click into a sale, a call, or whatever it is that you want. So it's all pretty straightforward. So I felt it was important to just share these basics before we fully dive in because if I had gone into the technicalities, you would have looked at me like, Guillermo, what are you talking about? Right. So I wanted just to give you a base understanding as to what we're dealing with here. So why take this approach? Why would anybody want to advertise via emails? So the reality is that you, me, I subscribe to things outside of the digital world. I'm into health. I'm into sports. I'm getting updates all the time for a variety of different things. So we all have things that we're interested in, and essentially, so do they. So do their subscribers. So it's the number one way for us to keep in touch with each other in the midst of an ad world that is always changing and improving. So no matter what, email has always kind of been the same, right? You get the email, you open the email, you click through or you don't. That's it. Whereas when you look at basic advertisements out there, like your Facebook, your Google, that stuff is always changing and it's complex. Like it gets really complex. So as you know, you could you use email for a variety of different things today. Family, news, blogs, appointments, the list goes on. Email isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And it's here to stay. Okay? It's here to stay. With that said, I'll be completely transparent on this call. It's an avenue, like programmatic emailing and email advertising is an avenue, but it's not a quick fix, and I'm going to explain why it's not a quick fix. So, this leads me to say that with programmatic emails, you still have to put together a solid strategy. So this is not like, oh, I'm going to advertise, so I'm going to expect a sale because it's an email, right? Like it doesn't work like that. You still need a solid strategy in place. Lucky for you, you're on this webinar. I'm going to share some of those solid strategies and more in this webinar. So take note. Do me a favor. If you're still following along with me, go ahead and put some twos in the chat box. If you could put some twos in the chat box, you could see my slides nice and clear. It'll let me know that you could hear me before I dive into these notes. Awesome. Dan, Eva, Dennis, thank you all so much. So let's continue to keep moving forward. Let's talk about the realities and strategies. Okay. The reality is that subscribers won't know who we are, what we offer, our websites, etc. So they don't know who we are. Is it a con? Not so much. When you advertise, for example, on Google, Facebook, the reality is that their advertisers don't know who you are either. So it doesn't really make much of a difference there. So it's important, and take note of this, it's important to consider who it is we are speaking to when advertising. So we want to, if we could just let's clean our minds, make it a nice clean sheet of paper. We need to know who we're speaking to. So like there's folks out there saying, "Oh yeah, you should just promote, run an ad, sell." No, like you need to know who you're speaking to. That's very important. A buddy and I refer to this approach as the avatar. Okay? And this is based off deals that I've closed, guys. $20,000, 15,000, 10K, 5K deals on the spot, like quick. And our approach has been the avatar, right? Not the movie. I want to make that clear. Not the movie. I'm talking about this person has an age, a gender, interests, things they like to do. And so we need to be clear. And I promise you, if we could be clear on who we're speaking to and trying to get to click through to then maybe fill a form, make a call, etc., it'll all run like very smooth. You'd be surprised. It takes a little bit of time, but it's very possible. All right. So what they aren't into is important as well. Accumulating this data is important before doing any type of advertising. In fact, it's part of the reason, sadly, why some fail at their campaigns. That's the harsh reality, guys, that there are times it happened to me even back in the day. And I'll be completely transparent here. I'm no superhero. Back in the day, Mr. Guillermo Mata, 10 years ago in New York City, was about to pause everything and say, listen, what in the world is going on? I'm running these ads. Nobody wants to click through. What is happening? Till it finally hit me that if I was going to do this, I needed to start focusing on the avatar. So, yeah. So they don't want to dig into the data. They don't want to do any data research. So that's part of this whole process of defining your avatar. You need to know your data. Okay? But you can. They don't. They don't want to dig into the data, but you can. So you don't want to catch yourself being self-absorbed through this process, okay? Um, you want to leave all the pretty stuff for later because essentially, it happens. We want our ads to look good creatively, we want to brand them out, our website, we want it to look pretty. But you'd be surprised like that when you understand your avatar, like how it all starts to line up with everything. And So your approach changes, even your advertisements, even your landing pages. So with email newsletter advertising, it is affordable, but still requires you, again, to dig into your data, as I've emphasized. So once you've ironed out who your avatar is, the rest is pretty much fun. So what do I mean by fun? Fun for me is experimenting with different creatives, visuals, price points, and of course, timing it all for the long-term plan. So once I've locked in what actually works, the hard part is actually done. My focus is all scale. Here's a couple of questions I like to ask. I'd like for you to ask yourself before running newsletter ads. So this is just a couple of questions. Feel free to note and share these same exact questions with your own clients and prospects. Number one, and you can take a screenshot of this if you want. Do you have a budget? Okay. Like, as in, do you have a budget? Okay. Whether it be $50, whether it be $25 a week, you need to at least be clear on that. Okay. Um, do you have a strategy? If so, what does that strategy look like? Okay. Like, what is your goal? Okay. Do you want folks to fill out your form? Do you want people to opt in? Do you want them to call you? So like being clear on all of this, I promise you, like if you just focus on one, how like easy things become. Like, so who are you speaking to? Just as I've said before, what actions are you looking for? What is your campaign timing? What does that timing look like? Okay. You give yourself like about 30 days so you could measure things out. Okay. So lead activity, steps, measures. Okay. What are the steps that they're going to take in order for you to consider it a conversion? Okay. When will you scale? Are your creatives ready? Are you going long or short? Okay. You have to ultimately decide at the end. There's no one way to do this. Okay. A lot of what I'm sharing with you here is based off how I approach things. Okay. You might want to take this and add your own spin to it. Okay. Did you meet your goals? So these are all basic questions to ask yourself before running any campaign. You all are still with me, right? Like, I just want to make sure. Go ahead and put some threes in the chat box if you are all still with me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Eric Williamson, Roger, perfect. So answering all of these questions before running an email advertisement campaign is crucial. So by answering the questions above, you'll save yourself not only dollars, but time as well. Okay. Now that we've gone over some really important facts to keep in mind, let's go over what creative should look like when it comes to this form of email advertising. Don't we just wish we could do it all, guys? Like, we could just be what's his name? Iron Man, right? I think it's Iron Superman. Just want to do it all. Fly here, fly there, right? Batman and right? Like we can't. That's the reality. Uh, that was one of my biggest mistakes 10 plus years ago. I wanted to do it all until I discovered a buddy of mine. I won't disclose any names. I ended up in the Hollywood Hills with this guy, with my wife. And it was pretty cool to see that, you need mentorship sometimes, guys. You need people that are going to inspire you. And so this individual, he hit me with it. You got to stop thinking you could do everything, man, because the reality is you're not going to go far like that. So moving forward, I just had to do it all. The reality is, if I was going to hit six figures to $1 million later in life, I needed to start delegating some work. So when it comes to advertising, especially creatives, you need someone who is familiar with advertising, specifically creatives, because it's a whole different ballgame. So these are just some examples again on the creatives out there in the digital sphere, but they all speak to a different audience. They speak to they all based off the images, based off what you're seeing. And I'm gonna break this all down a little later. So when it comes to creatives, there's a couple of key areas you want to be mindful of. Share these notes with your prospects, clients, or team. Number one, content. the content that you have on your image should speak to your avatar. Images. The images that you're using as well should also speak to your avatar. Pixel sizes. You need a variety of different pixel sizes for this form of advertising. Pixelation. Pixelation is basically when you ever seen those images and they're like, what? I can't even read what this thing says. We call that pixelation. So we want to make sure that our images are not pixelated. And number five, story. Our images need to tell a story from the minute that they have eyes on them. They need to tell a nice story leading onto that page, that landing zone, and which we'll cover a little later. So again, this is an example of what the banners look like in relations to everything that I've just shared here. But here, this is a good example, right? This is a screenshot from my email inbox, right? So I am a part of a DFW Adventures camping group because Guillermo likes to do cool things like that. But I'm also health conscious. Remember earlier in this presentation, I've mentioned that, man, like I'm into sports, health, right? Well, check this out. When I opened up my email, it just so happened that this company here started to target me. And that's some of the cool things that you could do with email advertising. You could actually target specific people based off income, based off interest, and lots more. So, I mean, looking at these images, right? You got the meal prepped, nice and healthy, keto meals ready in 2 minutes, straightforward, save 60%, first box, shop now, right? This could easily be a small business in a specific area, specific neighborhood, right? Problem is they don't have access to this type of technology. But coming all the way back, so I'm on course and not losing myself, is that this image clearly speaks to me. And so I'm able to click through, and I actually did click through. And I'm not even going to go to the next couple steps, but I ended up, taking action because I love what they were doing. So this is what it looked like up close. And I want to make sure you could see this banner in your end, right? Just go ahead and put some yeses in the chat box. Um, Great. So I see that you all can see these banners on your end. Perfect. Okay, so moving forward, here's another one here too. Speaks to more, dog owners, people who have pets. You have one here. It looks like it's for ladies' shoes. So clearly, they're speaking here to, your dog owners and women who are interested in shoes. Okay, so let's move forward. So let's take a closer look at a few other banner examples that will drum up some clicks. So clicks from the right people. And what's interesting about these banners is that every company that you're about to see here is advertising programmatically. American Home Shield, which is an insurance company, and we also spotted some of their affiliates like just doing an amazing job. But look at this banner, right? It is nice and as simple as it could possibly be. You got to, this is typical, maybe their market is 35, 44, 35 to 50 maybe. But you got a couple here. Washing machine having a bad day, no biggie. AHS has you covered. We cover things home insurance doesn't. If we can't repair your covered item, we will replace it. Get a free quote. So this is clearly targeting individuals who may have just purchased a home. So that means they're maybe in a different income bracket. And again, they're offering a free quote. So can't beat that. So this is another company here. Again, they're speaking to maybe the individual who works from home, who is actively busy on their computers, income bracket maybe 100K or more. Another great example here, you got a picture of a male, nice smile, perfect. You got Charles, the company here, introductory offer, shirts and polos, $39.95, very attractive price point, plus free delivery. Awesome. That's going to drum up a nice click. And then based off how they have their pages set up, it could even turn into a sale. Nom nom. Okay, another one here. Talking more to the pet owner. Okay, get 50% off. Okay. Mudwater, another great company here. This is more for your health conscious individual who wants to stop drinking coffee but get more of your health conscious, cup of coffee. Starscope, this is a good one. I got a case study to share with you on this one in just a little bit, but um, these guys did a really good job, and I'm going to break it down. This is more of a product, but it's a scope, right? A scope that you could add to basically everything, right? But breakthrough, forget an expensive telescope, get this device instead, read more. Nice and simple. I love it. I love simple. I love simple. That looks good. I'm going to show you a little later what they ended up doing. Ritual whiskey, again, another just aiming for maybe someone who's a wine drinker, but is looking for a whiskey alternative. Okay. I am not affiliated with these companies, by the way, guys. I'm just sharing these. All of these companies here are advertising programmatically. So this is all coming from our partners, and I'm sharing them with you to give you an idea as to like what how banners should be treated, or just banners and or email advertising in general when it comes to the creative side of things. This is again another insurance-based company, but based for more of your traveler. So you're going to likely target income bracket maybe over 150K, business going individual maybe 35 plus, and that kind of a ball game. Tovala, they did a great job as well. I got a case study to share with you as well. Again, nice and simple, $99 broken down for you, nice and simple there. So these are all examples of creatives for your future newsletter campaign. Take note of these areas as well. You want to be mindful again of the colors you use, the buttons, your landing page, the feel, be brief, and your action points. What is it that you want them to click on? Why should they click on your ad? What is it that you're giving off on that ad that is going to get them to click? Is it the free consultation? Is it a free quote? There's a lot of talk out there. Hey, don't do any free. The free doesn't work. Free does work, man. It does work. The problem is your positioning, how you're positioning that offer when they land on that page. Okay. So, which leads me to talk more about that landing page and that landing zone. And you all are still with me, right? I haven't lost anybody here. And I promise toward the end of the webinar, I will definitely be answering all of your questions. I see there's a lot of questions already. So let's talk about that landing zone. So what is a landing zone, Guillermo? That is your landing page. So I completely get it. We all want to sell. We all want to sell, sell, sell. The reality is, and I've learned the hard way, that that's not how it works. Take note of this. It is extremely important to provide nothing but value on the page the visitor is on. This is what works. Take note of this. Write this down. Take a screenshot if you have to. Reviews. Reviews do very well. If you're working with a contractor, maybe you're working with someone who is offering specialty services in the health space, show before and afters. If you're working with a law firm, talk a little about get some reviews up there pertaining to the results you were able to provide for the client and that kind of deal. Case studies work well as well. People love a good case study. I even do case studies. Case studies do amazing, man, because it gives people more, you're able to build more trust essentially. Not to be like salesy, but to be honest. Like, this is what you do. This is what you've been able to provide. And so it just, you're able to build more confidence in that regard for that visitor who's landing on your page. Okay. And I know that, look, I want to just put this out there. There's a lot of automated videos that give you slideshows. That stuff doesn't work. So don't do anything with slideshows. Slideshows don't work. Sometimes you might need to get your client on a video talking, sharing before and afters, and that kind of deal. That stuff builds massive trust, and it does it quick. Proof of work as well, showing that proof as well, certifications, establishments, seen on, and that kind of thing. Educational content works as well. So you always want to be educating, okay? Demonstrations work as well. So these are all key principles to keep in mind when it comes to that landing zone. Okay, this is a perfect example of what it takes. So Tovala, I just broke it down a moment ago. I showed you their banner, right? So educates, and they don't even sell right away. I actually ended up finding them through our partners, and uh, got a bit of some insight. So, in long story short, when you click on that banner, you're taken to this basic landing page. That's, you're as you scroll, you begin to feel informed, educated, right? And they educate you not just on the product, but they're giving you tips on the different types of meals that you could make, steps on how it all comes together, accomplishments, as seen on Food and Wine, BuzzFeed, People. People magazine is actually one of our publishers as well. So you could do the same, once you start getting your clients shown on these ads, you could do the same. You could say, hey, I was seen on People magazine and that kind of deal. But moving on, so I'm back on course, they showed steps on how it works and sealing it off with more value, okay, in relations to the type of meals that you could make with this thing, and then they close it off by saving the best for last. Where if you wanted to buy that product that they're essentially offering based off all the value that they've given you, you could just click through and just buy it. At this point, you've been educated, you've clearly been reading through this page, you're interested, and so the value is there. You're not going to forget about these guys because they're giving you value. You click through, so you feel informed, you're happy, and you're ready to click through and buy. So I'm just giving you the logic behind a lot of these clickers. So this is what it takes. And this approach here is no different for any other vertical product or service. Provide proof and value, and the returns will come. Again, I'll say it. Provide the proof and value, and the returns will come. So when it comes to that landing zone, you don't want to cut any corners. You definitely don't want to be cutting any corners at all. So these are some of the things that I'd hope that none of you do. That's why you're here. You're here because you want to learn, you want to improve, and things like that. So this is what I don't recommend. No blog posts, no short videos, no made up reviews, no empty pages, and no clutter. Okay, so these are all the no's. Take a screenshot of this, note this all down. This stuff does not work, man. It just doesn't. It does not work. And I've seen people do this, and it's sad because it's just an ad budget that's just wasted. So by taking note of these 5 no's above, my guarantee, and this is a guarantee to you, is that you'll see returns. You'll definitely see returns. The only reason a majority don't see them is because they cut corners. They start putting fake stuff up and they do all this weird stuff that it doesn't work. It doesn't. So let's take a look at another. So Starscope, I broke it down earlier. I believe that they did an amazing job. We got some insight from our partners, but long story short, they are scaling advertorials. So what are advertorials? Advertorials, they're more like the best of both worlds. You do a lot of reading. It's more content based and less okay, here's a video and here's a link, you continue to go through. No, it's just more content driven, so it keeps the reader that's already reading their email reading. Okay, so again, advertorials are awesome to keep readers continuously reading and informed. And one of the things that I appreciate about these guys is that they got the reviews on there. They keep you educated. They're not just sharing a screenshot of a really cool scope. They're giving you value. They're giving you a whole bunch of reasons as to why you should take them on. And they're giving you the proof right there on their page. So your call to action and all principles mentioned, are key when it comes to this format. I'm sorry, phone numbers, buy buttons, consultation buttons, chat poppers, redirects, they all work well. So you definitely want to make note of that. Phone numbers, buy buttons, consultation buttons, chat poppers, redirects, all do fine. So landing pages are a tad bit different depending on how you approach it. Advertorials have more context, whereas landing pages get right to it. Advertorials are somewhat like the best of both worlds. um, testing both out is without a doubt worth it. So have you been getting value so far? If you've been getting value so far, go ahead and let me know in the chat so I could brag to anybody else that may have not shown up and just did nothing but make excuses. Go ahead and let me know in the chat. Awesome, awesome. Ernest, Dennis, Michael Smith, big value here. Great, perfect. I'm happy I'm able to serve you guys. So let's continue to keep moving. So let's take a look at some service-based examples. So this is a really good one, and they're in the service space. So this is an approach that we could take even as consultants, okay? Even when it comes to like pay-per-call offers and that kind of thing, you could totally take the same approach. So nice and simple, right? You got the number right up at the top. Call us for a free quote. Get your fast and easy free quote. Free works, guys. I just think it's just about like the value that you're putting on these pages. Like if your page just consists of, hey, here's a form, fill it out. Let me cross my fingers and hope that someone fills it out. It's not going to work like that. It's not going to work like that. All right. So let's read here. We keep your home up and running and your budget on track. Okay. And they talk a little bit more about their credentials here. Look solid. The minute you land on this page, they present you with a short form with the option to get a free quote. Making yourself available is very important. By providing a number, you could be reached at or routed to just easily. Now, as you continue to scroll through this page, you got their credentials up here, you know, how the homes that they've been able to help and all of that. But in the end, this question here is, you know, asking questions on your landing page does magic as well. Check this out. Why American Home Shield? Right away, it's going to get you thinking. We cover things like we cover things home insurance doesn't. American Home Shield isn't insurance. For 50 years, we've provided flexible plans for people who have systems and appliances they like to keep working and work in order. No system or appliance is too old. We're here for you 24 hours, 24/7. Like this is great. This is what you want to read when you have an intentful clicker on your page. Now imagine if I didn't have any of this stuff and I just had a form and you know some text and that's it, right? They wouldn't work. So that's why I'm encouraging you to, you know, take your time, you know. That question alone, why American Home Shield is solid. So love this question because it's able to captivate the attention of the reader who is seriously considering this form of insurance. They got the reviews on the page as well that also does magic. So you see how they provide value, they show their credentials, they show cases, reviews, they keep people educated, right? So this is all of what we want to keep in mind. They seal it off with three basic options. Um, that essentially, you know, there's three options, but when you fill them out, it's just taking you to their sales line. That's all it's really doing, but you're still giving them value. You're still keeping them educated so they could weigh out their options. Okay. The goal of this page is to like get them on the phone. Because like the minute that you fill out that form, it triggers their sales team, and guess what? You're getting an automated follow-up, and you're gonna end up being closed. So moving forward, um, we have to view this all from the visitor's point of view. It's not just about offering a massive discount. The real question for you is what do you believe is going to get them to fill or call? Keep those principles I've shared, and you'll have those lines ringing in no time. Always be experimenting. We've covered some really basic, you know, points here when it comes to advertising programmatically, some real key points when it comes to creatives, avatars. Um, let's continue to move forward. So, what if nothing happens, right? What if nothing happens? We've done all this work. Not everybody's going to fill out that form. Not everybody's going to call you. That's just the reality. Crickets, right? You just get crickets, just nothing. It's just silence. So, targeting, And retargeting is without a doubt going to be an important component when running ads, without a doubt. So you remember that scope I was telling you about? So this is where retargeting does magic. I do retargeting all the time for many different verticals, and it works. It does magic. Okay. Um, you could get a retargeting pixel from your Google Ads account, you know. Um, but so I'm on course here, Starscope. They ended up doing a really good job at retargeting your guy here. And it was a video of a young woman saying, "Hey, did you like the scope that you seen? Well, guess what? I'm gonna give you up to 63% off this time. So why don't you click here and then maybe we could get on a call and I'll give you a better deal, right?" So you get that approach, right? It's nice and simple. But I think what's also important through this process is that like you don't want to take them to the same exact page. Like you don't want them to land on a page where it's just like the same thing. Whatever they're landing on, it needs to be much better. Like you need to be offering not just a free consultation, a free quote. You need to get them a free quote and something else. You're gonna have to pick it up. You're gonna have to pick it up. There's a reason why they didn't fill out that form. Sometimes it's because they're just too busy. Sometimes it's because they just clicked and they were just curious. A curious mind eventually leads to action. It leads to some kind of action that correlates with what they were thinking. So remember that scope I told you about seconds ago? Yep, as I've mentioned, they've targeted me. Retargeting is a small piece of code that you'll place on your landing page, allowing you to continuously run ads to that individual. However, note this, you'll have to pick it up from here and not offer the same thing as I've mentioned before. As I've mentioned again, and I'll say it again, you could go to your Google Ads account, go over to the toolbar at the top, form a list, and they'll provide you with a retargeting pixel. I believe it lasts now legally up to 190 days or so. So you have 190 days to retarget these people, okay, and run ads to them. So truth is there could be a list of reasons as to why they didn't bother taking your offer. On the second visit, we want to make sure to give them, we want to make sure that they give us a real reason. We got to give them a reason to give us a chance. So on that second page, you'll want to set a third pixel offering an even better deal. So yeah, they have one page that they go to, so you could have three pages set up. You have your main page, you have a third page. I'm sorry, you have your main page, your second page, and then your third page. Okay, so the deal gets better and better. Okay, so that's exactly what they've done. When I landed on their page, they offered me a massive discount. Today, there's so many ways to do this. Again, you could do this through Google, you could scale out YouTube, and many other routes. You could just display ads through banners as well. Again, this is why it's so important to diversify and not restrict yourself to one form of advertising. Because I know I get it. Like it feels sometimes like, yeah, Facebook is the way to go, but Facebook is also a social network. People are there to be social. Okay. People in these email lists are subscribed to receive content from a specific publisher, which means that they've been in contact. So why would they display such ad and, you know, why would they just put you there as a sponsored ad, right? There has to be some kind of connection where they will eventually click through, follow through, and turn into a sale. So moving forward, email newsletters are coming from a reputable brand that promoted you. That click comes with intentions. Again, that click comes with intentions. So let's continue to just dive a little deeper into, we've covered some really strong points here. I've given you a lot of key gems here, but let's dive into the technicalities behind all of this. So email advertising programmatically isn't to be confused with email broadcasting. So, okay, so like as in your email broadcasting company that you upload lists and no, That's not what this is. Okay. So programmatic email advertisements work 100% programmatically. So there's no list for you to choose or mail to. It's basically done for you based on the preferences you've set. What this allows you to do is mail along with some of the most respected brands publishers. It's kind of like asking them all to mail for you. Now, on the other side, you get to choose the clicks based off the preferences you set prior to launching. So right now, as I've mentioned before, we have something like 2,000 plus publishers. You may recognize some of these guys. Food Network. How many of you are familiar with the Food Network? I know I am. Guillermo Mata does watch the Food Network. Meetup as well. I love Meetup. I think what they're doing is great. It tends to attract more businesses. So yeah, they've gone programmatic as well. GQ magazine as well, General Mills, Vogue, Southern Living, the New York Times, Washington Post, People magazine has also gone programmatically. How cool is that, right? It's pretty cool that these companies um, have all gone programmatic. So whenever these guys mail, they will feature your advertisement inside of their newsletters. Okay. So again, I've given you a visual before. This is a banner above the fold. So this will basically show on the top of the email. So this format comes with its long-term benefits that truthfully other outlets don't really have. Real logged in audiences that you could scale for a long time. In order for these subscribers to receive your ad, they must be logged into their email. Again, the beauty about this is that our partners vet all publishers, so you don't have to worry about bots and that kind of stuff. So speaking of engaged subscribers, you know how we tend to pay more attention to conversations we truly enjoy? Well, with email ads, it's the same thing. People are more focused, like highly intentful on their click because they enjoy getting content from this subscriber and so on and so forth. So now let's be clear. These subscribers have opted, they're receptive and likely to engage way more in comparison to other models where distractions are an issue. I'm not saying that this is fixed to all issues, but what I'm saying is that these subscribers have already been warmed up for you in advance, as I've emphasized a few times in this presentation. So absolutely zero distractions. So programmatic email newsletters are less crowded, noisy when compared to other advertising channels, allowing your emails to really stand out. Programmatic email ads are located above the fold on the top of the email newsletters, which make them very visible. So let's continue to dig a little deeper into these technicalities. So let's go over third-party cookies and hash emails because it's essentially part of this whole process. So programmatic emails don't need to scale cookies. Instead, they use hash emails. A hashed email is an email address that runs through a hashing algo. That algo returns a series of characters unique to that specific email. Each time that that email address runs through a hashing algo, the algo returns the same unique value. Hashed emails cannot be reversed to reveal users' actual email address. Each each email hash provides advertisers with a privacy-safe method for targeting audiences, newsletters. With email newsletters, consumers must consent to the use of their email address, adding another layer of privacy. So, in short, this protects them. They've opted into this list so they can be targeted with ads. They've given us permission. So, unlike other channels, email newsletters are cookieless. This means that newsletter advertisers are unaffected by third party cookie deprecation. So, which leads me to share more with you about how this all ties into the marketplaces. So you can buy newsletters today through programmatic direct buys, and I'll show you some couple of companies that offer this as well. Some other routes include private marketplaces and open exchanges. It's important that we understand the benefits and advantages of each supply source as it can help you identify which approach is best for your campaign and most importantly, your budget, since it tends to get very pricey. I mean, this stuff gets pricey. We've reached out to so many brands, guys, that we were like, wait, what? $5,000 per campaign, 10 grand per campaign. It's pricey. It's very pricey. So you have your programmatic direct buys, you have private marketplaces, and then you have open exchanges. Programmatic buys slash inventory can be purchased directly from specific publishers with a one-to-one relationship between the advertisers and publishers. Through this arrangement, you can buy inventory either on a guaranteed basis or a non-guaranteed deal. A guaranteed deal is when a publisher guarantees the advertiser a certain number of impressions over a set period or a flat predetermined fee. Non-guaranteed deal is an arrangement without a specific timeline or a set budget for a particular impression goal. These offer more flexibility, letting advertisers reach an impression goal without the commitment or predetermined fee. Programmatic direct buys typically consist of a publisher's most exclusive newsletter inventory. Though it usually comes at a premium fee, higher CPM advertisers might feel more comfortable working with direct publishers. Brands concerned with brand safety or brand suitability, for instance, may want to consider direct with a publisher. Brands concerned with brand safety or brand suitability, again, may want to consider programmatic buys to ensure greater control over where their advertisements appear. There's an even deeper process to all of this behind the scenes. You have deal IDs as well. So deal IDs are the key components to facilitating programmatic direct buys. A publisher or supply side platform puts together a deal ID specific to the individual campaign. Then the demand side platform sets up the deal ID on their side, aligning both platforms. You have private marketplaces as well. So private marketplaces are another method brands employ to purchase email advertising inventory. So similar to programmatic direct buys, this method involves a direct partnership with a single publisher rather than a one-to-one buy between an advertiser and publisher. This is a one-to-many approach to email newsletter advertising. Essentially, it's a PMP, private marketplace. That's short for private marketplace, PMP, allowing advertisers to compete for the same fixed amount of inventory from a single publisher within a private environment. Publishers must add advertisers to their allow list to enable their DSP to purchase advertising inventory list in private marketplaces. Compared to programmatic buys, a PMP, again, is short for private marketplace, enables advertisers to secure premium inventory quickly at a lower cost. Private marketplaces provide always on access inventory, assuming your brand has permission, making it a key option for advertisers who know the type of newsletters in which they'd like to appear. Breaking down open exchanges, and we're almost wrapped up here. Another source for email newsletters ad inventory is the open exchange. Unlike private marketplaces and programmatic direct buys, an open exchange is a public auction. There doesn't need to be an existing contact with the publisher. Advertisers can bid on whatever they'd like. There's no barriers to entry for advertisers, and there doesn't need to be an existing contract with the publisher. The open exchanges offer more extensive inventory than other types of media buying. Advertisers don't have to sacrifice campaign scale when applying audience targeting, frequency, capping, or geo-targeting parameters. However, when compared to programmatic direct deals, private marketplaces, and open exchanges, CPMs are generally lower. If you're concerned about brand safety on the open exchange, consider implementing allow lists and block lists. So these are some of the things that you can do within our platform as well. We allow you to create block lists and allow lists. So let's say that you decided to mail with a bunch of different people as an advertise within their list, but one of them is sending you crappy traffic. You could put them in a block list, okay, and you won't get traffic from them anymore. So now you understand what makes email newsletters. So what are the different types of newsletter ads? So you've likely encountered email ads in newsletters. I'm sure you have. You probably didn't realize it, but it almost looks like it plugs right into their environment. It almost appears as if it's part of the content. Now, there are two different types of email newsletter ads. You have custom, and then you have your custom display, which is like your banners, and then you have native formats. So as I've shown you here, you have your banner at the top and you have your native formats. So let's go over some sizes. There's a plethora of different sizes available out there. 970 by 550 pixels, 970 by 250 pixels, and the list goes on. You could even create GIFs and run it as well. So if you have someone who's super creative and knows how to create GIFs for your advertisement, you could absolutely do it on our end as well. So this is more of your like native format. So it looks like it's part of the content. So it'll have some content, an image, and then a button. We find that native formats perform way better than most banners for some reason. Anyway, moving forward, you have native formats as well. Native formats reflect their environment and they are less intrusive. Okay, less intrusive, and they just kind of look like they're a part of that environment. So native ads integrate more easily into their email newsletters content than display ads. So newsletter ad readers don't experience banner blindness, and the ads tend to garner higher engagement than display ads. They blend in very, very well. And I'll say it again, they blend in very, very well. Best practices for advertising in email newsletters, and I promise you guys we're almost wrapped up. Like any advertising channel, knowing how to maximize your investment to ensure greatest return is essential to your campaign success. We want them to stop on that scroll. We want to ensure your creative captures the attention of email newsletter readers. Keep your design and copy minimal, making sure that only the most critical information is featured front and center. Again, moving forward, if you can't pick your target's attention within 50 words, you can't do it within 50. So again, if you can't pick your target customer's attention in 50 words, you can't do it in 50. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Showcase your product either on its own or within that lifestyle context. For instance, an animated ad can showcase different colors, sizes, and the list goes on. Make sure your logo is visible, clear. Make sure existing and prospective clickers know whose ad they're seeing. Your logo builds brand recognition and is an integral part of building connection with customers. As we begin to wrap up this presentation, I quickly want to touch on costs. There's a bunch of companies out there that offer this service, and I just wanted to disclose them to you so you're aware as to like who they are. They all had processes. They were not the most affordable, that's for sure, and they required a lot up front. So again, very costly. So you got Gold Lasso. They are also one of the most expensive ones, $5,000 plus per campaign. They're just not built for agencies and consultants like me and you. Ad Mailer, they're actually working with us as well. But if you try to reach them directly, it could be very, very intense and also very costly. Power Inbox, interesting because we have access to their exchange as well. They have their own little private exchange, but through our New Jersey-based partners, we have access to their mailings as well. So it's pretty cool. So advertising with these guys, even though it's tempting, it's not the easy experience. So ideally for us, we need flexibility. We need to be able to charge. A lot of us here are looking to charge clients. We're looking to essentially do a bit more. That's essentially what we've done. We've created outlets for our guys to be able to charge, to have that transparency, wholesale pricing, and we don't mark anything up here. We put the ball in your court to the point where we even pay you 100% on any client that you bring in. So we've opened this market up for our members. So now you can offer programmatic newsletters at the same time advertise within those newsletters. Let's wrap this all up by just tapping into some quick case studies, and I promise we're done after this. Aerosols, you guys know who Aerosols is. If you don't, they're a shoe company. This brand wanted to take advantage of this behavior. They wanted to take advantage of behavior-based advertising with our partner Live Intent. So I'm not all over the place. You could do behavior-based targeting within programmatic email newsletters, and they were able to do very well. Essentially, they were able to reduce costs down and essentially generate more results by fivefold. So these guys did very well. Aerosols is also a programmatic partner as well. And you got the reviews right here coming from them directly. They work with Live Intent. So this is all, they're built with us. So Live Intent is one of the exchanges built in with us directly. So the cases keep pouring in, La Quinta Inn and Suites. Again, they were targeting folks 25 to 64, household income 75K plus or more. And in short, just going into results, Lanquita was successful in raising brand awareness by 4.7% plus more reservations. So when I saw this, I had to share with you because again, this could be a local motel, right? Like there's been a whole real estate craze going out there. So best believe there's going to be a lot more motels out there looking to promote. So it's all about the season at the end of the day. So if you understand your seasons, you understand your avatar, this should be a piece of cake, especially knowing that you could target specific areas, demographics, and more. So lots of flexibility there. So really cool stuff. General Mills is as well. I mean, this is a huge corporation. They have all types of products for a variety of different things. How is it that they're scaling this as well, right? It's for a reason. They were able to basically, build brand awareness, increase revenue by 26%, which is insane. It's huge. Manscaped, I shared this with you guys on a video log. You might have remembered. But moving forward into the results, they were able to again lower their cost per acquisition and generate near 350 conversions, which was just crazy, all through programmatic email. So this case study, again, this is a digital watch company. They were able to basically produce the same, generating over like 183% return on ad spend, which is crazy. Again, when I say crazy, I mean crazy good. Okay. Again, so moving forward as we wrap up now, did you get value from today's webinar? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. I see that a lot of you got a lot of value here today. We're about to wrap up right now, I promise you. So you received today not only the fundamentals, but a complete detailed breakdown on what it takes to run these type of advertisements. I know and toward the end it's a lot of techie talk, but I had to share that with you in order for you to understand how this all works. Okay. So moving forward, the cases and the data we've shared with you today on this webinar is full proof that programmatic email is a long-term approach. This is not a like some type of tactic. This is not a tactic. This is a long-term approach. So it doesn't matter the vertical you're looking to, brand, etc., generating leads, sales, followers. Uh, this could be scaled in a variety of different ways. So we're extremely excited to introduce you to our new innovation, but most importantly, excited to see how it impacts you, your clients, and your agency. So are you ready for programmatic email newsletters? Let's do it. So programmatic email newsletters is going to allow you to, again, advertise within over 2,000 plus publishers out there, Meetup, Groupon, GQ Magazine, and so many others. You have built-in live intent exchanges provides you with access to over 20 million readers that are 100% logged in. Our third-party partners slash audiences with Pontiac, aka the Programmatic Mechanics company out in New Jersey that I mentioned, they enable you to pick up email clickers who have certain behavior types, certain devices, income, ages, and lots more. As consultants, we understand how important targeting is, so we give you a variety of targeting options, such as geo-targeting by country, designated market area, short for DMA, and you could even do your day parting. Uh, uh, Built inside the platform, we provide you with detailed training as well, a guide. You have a chat as well. Today we're announcing a new feature as well. So if you're here, lucky you. We also provide you with white label opportunities where you would basically take home 100% earnings. So This is the platform right here. I'm just gonna refresh my page to make sure that I am logged in right now. So right up at the dashboard, you have your total campaigns, total creatives, total amount spent, and then you have your chat right here. Okay. So you have your user profile as well. So here, this is an important area because it's attached to this new component that I'm going to show you in just a little bit. But for security purposes, you want to make sure that you have all your information put here. Fill this all out, upload your image, and add a little description on your business here. I'm going to show you why a little later. So we do have a small top-up minimum to utilize our platform, but I want to make it clear now that this is not a per campaign minimum. We set this minimum because we wanted active users on our platform. So you could top up $50 and you could scale that out throughout multiple campaigns. So you could make one for 10, one for 5, one for 20, and just continue to like scale out your budget. So we've been able to negotiate with these guys, and you basically have no minimum per campaign. You have lots of flexibility. So you have your creatives here. So choosing a creative is very straightforward, not too complicated at all. I'll just show you one here. I'll show you this one. So in short, you have your brand, your creative name, your title, your sponsored by. So this is all important. You want to make sure that this all ties in together. The title, because this is going to show right up here, and then your call to action, and then some content. It'll all show pretty much just like this. So now when your creative has been approved, it'll show like either pending or approved here, and you're all set. You have your add creative section here broken down for you, all the specs, as far as like what sizes we allow, all broken down for you right here. And we give you a quick preview so you understand what your ad looks like. You could always go back, click view, and view your creatives. Now, what is this page here? This is an important page because this is the area where you're going to be able to choose, depending on what level account you have, from over like near 5,000 plus publishers. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So you see here, I have a list set up for Groupons, meaning that whenever Groupon mails, I could show within their specific mailing, and I'm going to show you how. I have one for Meetup. So you have a name, your list ID, and your list ID is connected to the exchanges. This helps them keep track of the type of traffic that you're looking for. So what you would do up here, I'm just going to put the word test up here. And then what I can do here is I could choose from a variety of different publishers. I want to make it clear that these are email publishers. I'm going to type in here Groupon really quick. And you notice that there's like Groupon UK Lifecycle, Groupon UK coupons. Like you could really run this from a variety of different countries. But let's say I want to run like within their coupons mailing for shopping. Like they're likely going to mail their anything that has to do with coupons, their shoppers. But let's say I want to also put Better Homes and Garden as well. But let's say I also want Meetup to mail my offer because I'm so pumped and I'm so excited. So I could just add publisher and create a little list. I'm not going to do that live right now because it'll charge me. This is a real account. But basically, once you create that list, you'll get a list ID, and then you could associate this list a little later. I'm going to show you with your campaign. Nice and simple, right? Nothing too complicated there. So this area here, according to the programmatic mechanics, my partner's out in New Jersey, and I'm going to introduce them to you a little later in this presentation. They want you to focus by, and I left a note right here, by intent, age, gender, interest, and income. So you have a variety of different options to choose from here, from B2B, and so on and so forth. But for this example, I'm going to choose demographics. You could also choose from a variety of different publishers, like a bunch of them. If you don't know who they are, you can leave it blank and just choose a specific demographic. So this is going to allow you, in short, to um, choose by specific income brackets. You could even choose by like gender and lots more. We give you the set CPMs here. It looks like they're a little lower today. But this is all in real time. So stick with me. If you want to narrow your data, you can buy it here. And I show you all of this in the training. So like, let's say Jill. wants to target Meetup, Groupon, but she only wants people who are 45 to 54. I would click associate, and then it would essentially associate. I could choose to associate it with my campaign. So you see it here. You'll pay 53 cents for every 1,000 impressions. So that's that. I will pay 53 cents for 1,000 impressions. That's amazing. That's actually really good. Okay. And that's transparency in a box because we're showing you what you're paying. We're not marking anything up here. And I'm letting you know transparently, like, you're choosing on your own. So, um, yeah, I mean, you have different income levels here to choose from. And let's move forward. Let's go into campaigns. So, campaigns area broken down nice and simple. I'm going to show you how publishers area and the audience area ties into the campaigns. So, you have your name, status, cost, start date, end date. When you go to add a campaign, here's where it all starts. So, you have your name, start date, end date, and then your budget. Remember, we don't have a per, like, a minimum per, like, campaign or none of that mess. So you have a lot of flexibility. So once you've set that up, you have your like start dates and end dates and all that fun stuff set up here. You go into associate creative. I don't have any approved creatives right now, but once I do, I could just associate it with my campaign, move forward to the next. This area here is where it's going to allow you to basically target a variety of different countries. So it doesn't matter where you are, guys. You could target a variety of different Bahamas, Jamaica, Canada. We had folks here from Australia. For this example, I'm going to choose the United States. And then you could go by regions or designated market areas. So let's say your designated market areas, I'm going to just choose New York City because that's just the area I want to target. But I also want to target like other regions as well, like maybe like New Jersey or something like that. I could totally like New Brunswick. I could really target other areas as well to get some reach. This will narrow down my campaign. Honestly, when you're starting off using this, I recommend like leaving this open and just going with the United States so you could collect some data, or go with zips. You have zips too. So if you want to go DMAs, designated market area, New York, but you want to do 11211 New York City, I'm going to get traffic. So whenever they mail, remember, these guys got millions of subscribers. I'm going to buy a specific subset of traffic. So I'm getting it from those DMAs, designated market areas, from those specific regions. But I'm not going to add a region if I'm choosing a designated market area and I'm choosing a zip code. I'm getting traffic just from that area. So you have your day parting as well, works in military time. So let's say I want my ad to run from 900 so till about maybe 1500. I could really just day part my campaign and it'll run around that time. So I'm not like depleting my budget. You have full control here. So now let's say you want traffic from Apple, you want Android, mobile phones, you would just choose those options there. Now, remember those publishers lists that we've made and audiences, here's where it ties in. And remember in the presentation where I told you we have an exclusion list and an inclusion list, you could do that all here, okay? But for this example, let's say I want Groupon to mail my list, right? I'm sorry, I want Groupon to mail my offer, and I want Better Homes and Garden to mail. We're going to go to third party and we're going to narrow things down. Remember, we're going to pay about 50 something cents for 1,000 impressions for this age group here. So I could click finalize and I'm done. It's really that simple. So to go back here, here's where you would choose the list. And here's where you would choose your third party audiences. Nice and simple, right? So once you click finalize, it'll show here in this area pending. Uh, Processing time usually takes about an hour, sometimes maybe 24. It's all working programmatically through AI, and these guys have all of this set up on their end. We have no control over that. So once you hit submit, this goes to the exchanges. We don't control any of that. So now we have extended exchanges, and I'm going to break this down a little later in the presentation as to who these extended exchanges are. So just to be brief really quick, this is more of your, if you want to reach more of your blog, your dental blog, your credit repair blog, your insurance blog, you can do that here. So this is just some of sample campaigns that we set up. You have your name, advertiser name, cost, start date, end dates. So these work a little different. You could choose by categories. We allow more flexibility with this extended reach. As you can see here, there's like literally a ton of different options for you to credit repair. Maybe you're running a pay-per-call offer. You have your different creatives, natives, banner styles. You got that all there. Now let's go ahead and let's view this one here. And I'm going to take you through the steps because they're very familiar, very, very familiar. I mean, very familiar. So you got your advertiser name, you have your campaign name, start date, end date. You have your targeting here. So if you want to target, let's say, you want to buy some traffic from, like, let's say you got a pay-per-call offer, but it's based out in the United States and they're open to all United States traffic. Say this is for a cable company. I'm going to choose the United States, and then I want traffic to come from mobile Android. We have our age ranges that we could choose from here, our genders, and then we could continue to expand this and continue to go on from there. Pretty cool, right? Lots of flexibility, different banner styles as well. So you could see here, we give you that leaderboard banner that shows above the fold, plethora of different banner styles for you. Your budget types are here. So for these ads, it'll work more on a CPC basis, but you have like the lowest possible. And again, the minimum for this campaign here for you to run campaigns is $10. So keep that in mind. That's per campaign on this one. Okay. That's for that extended reach. Moving forward here, we're all about transparency. So we'll definitely show you regions. We're going to show you the total clicks, where they're coming from, the country. We're going to show you your general report. You get to see your total impressions, everything that really matters, like even the sites that are emailing your offer. You're going to see it all here broken down for you. Now, this area here has been a favorite for a lot of our members. This is our eclicks.expert URL that we reserved for you. We took a very common approach. This has worked very well for a lot of our members. You could add your own clients. We pay you as well 100% on every client that you bring in. Okay, it helps us because you're helping us build this community, but at the end it works for you because you're making 100%. Like, we're paying you every first of the month. Whenever someone signs up underneath you, say like this is your account, this is going to be 100% customized for you. Like, you could basically even self-host this. We're even going to give you that opportunity. But so I'm on course here. When someone signs up underneath you, you'll see their email, phone number, you'll see their top up plus any fees that they've paid to you. You got the names here, the URLs, the minimum top-up fee, service fees. You can set colors for your login screens, the inside of your portal, whatever it is that you feel, however you want to set it, your logo, your icons. When they log in to their account, they're not going to see any of the training or none of that stuff. They just have direct access through you. So whatever they top up, so let's say you leave the minimum the same, like I show you here, and I have the training broken down on all of this. So say the minimum top up you leave blank, but you want your service fee to be about 500 bucks. Our platform will look for 500 bucks every single month. If they don't have that amount, their account gets locked automatically. That's pretty much it. So sealing this off, as always, we provide you with as much value as possible. We give you training broken down for you. We've been getting a lot of compliments on this training, and we really appreciate that. Lots of good training here. We give you a PDF. So remember that document I'm sorry, that the profile. I told you that you got the image and everything. This is our newest feature. It's going to allow you to generate a report that you could essentially send to your prospects. It doesn't matter what level you're on, whether you be a white label or not. I don't have any descriptions or anything set, but we felt like this would come in very handy for those of you who might just want to propose this really quick. Maybe you got a client, someone who's warmed up, you might want to send this to them, and get, it'll show your picture, description, your website, email address, all those things that really matter. Again, this is built 100% for us as consultants. And yeah, let's continue to wrap up this presentation because we're not done yet. As I've mentioned, you have this awesome dashboard, the ability to create an endless amount of creatives. Now you have this new feature where you could generate reports. plenty of creative types. You can narrow down your data by different demographics, age ranges, and more. Lots of just flexibility here from just the reach that you have from DMAs, regions, zip codes that you could target, day parting, device types. You could choose specific mailings that you want to go out on, and just lots more transparency all broken down for you. You could even see through your reports which site is getting you traffic. You have your white label capabilities as well. And as we continue to wrap this up, we couldn't have done it without the programmatic mechanics. These are the guys that I told you are built inside of our platform. They're out in New Jersey. And Live Intent is also built into our platform as well. So you have massive reach there. So our third-party audiences reach, as I showed you on the platform, consists of Media Source, Dataline, Oracle, Data Logics, and 100 plus others. So they're going to be allowing you to reach those blogs and those newsletter sites, those much smaller sites. So uh, couldn't do it without Keith Guberman, Paul Radzowski, Eric Thorson, who was a backbone throughout this process. Massive thank you to them on this third webinar. Super thankful. I mean, these guys went above and beyond. This is a back end view here on just what the mailings look like. This is just a quick snippet. The volume it shows here. So you can see the mailings. These are all the mailings here. You got the different categories, but look at these impressions, 5 millions for this particular newsletter. You got all types of newsletters. This one here, breaking news, 450 impressions, like lots of different reach here. And again, massive list to choose from. This is actually a back end look at the amount of mailers that are built in. New York Times, AARP, Zeus, Inbox Lab. Remember that company that I showed you in the presentation, Inbox Lab? They're built into our platform as well. So you have all of that reach right there. And you could even choose by category. So we've made it very easy for you to utilize this platform. And even some radio stations have started going programmatically. Not all of them, but there's a good amount of them out there that has gone programmatically. They're monetizing their list, but it works for you at the end. So again, you have massive flexibility here, create endless lines. We refer to them as lines, you know them as campaigns, different targeting options, creative types, third party reach, white label capabilities, report options, all broken down for you right there. So again, you have all of these options and more white label capabilities all broken down for you. And let's begin to wrap this up. So what is the cost for all of this? We wanted to make our robust platform available to all of our members. Yes, those of you, Rex Madden, HMAC, everybody who came out, Jill Highland, everybody, just everybody who came out. We really appreciate the support. As always, we wanted to put the ball in your court. I mean, that's really what we've been doing the whole time. We've negotiated the lowest CPM and clicks to the point where now, like, you're even going to be able to self-host this platform, and you're going to see in just a few minutes, zero minimums there's no minimums at all. The only one is the $50 minimum to just utilize our platform. We put a lot of energy into this platform, and I don't need to say anymore. I mean, the potential is massive. So with all the energy that we poured into this, all of the negotiations, you won't even pay anywhere near 4 or 5 grand for this. We could easily go out and put this in the market, set up, go out to some expos, 5 grand, no problem. That's not what you'll be paying for this today. If anything, we'll just let you take in those profits. Realistically, again, with all the meetings and everything, you won't even pay $2,999. So we take care of all of our members here, and that's clear. Today, I'm going to give you a $20 coupon that you could apply automatically. It's actually being applied automatically for you today. So the reach here is massive. The brand awareness is massive. The traction is massive. The ability, again, to display ads within General Mills, GQ, Groupon, it's just on another level. You won't even pay $999. So are you ready to start advertising programmatically? I'm going to give you full access right now for literally $117. I'm going to grab this link really quick, and I'm going to drop it in the chat. And I promise to get to all of your questions. So if you want right now, I've opened up the lines. This is something new that we're doing as of today. Maria, our coordinator, is on the call. Asan today, the incredible human behind the scenes, Wally as well. They're all on the lines as well. So you can call us right now if you want. You don't have to, but it's 813-252-0803. You could even text that number. It depends on where you're listening from. I see some of you are on the go. So 813-252-0803. Go ahead and you could even text that number or call us. Alternatively, if you're overseas, we do not process we process you guys manually. So you would have to email dev support at redtorrentmedia.app. Okay. So we're going to save you $20. That link, those links are all in the chat right now. Now let's continue to move forward because we're not quite done here. So optional, if you prefer not to take the coupon, um, it'll bring you up to 137, and this option just gives you option. This has been a favorite for a lot of our members, and I'll break it down in just a moment. It gives you access to basically all updates, all exchanges, and all additional features. Okay. And I break that down on this page. So I dropped that link in the chat, and this link will be available till about 5 p.m. today. Highly recommended. This is that option 2 right here. And you could weigh out your options all here. This has been a favorite here for a lot of our members. Okay. So moving on here, both options come with the complimentary Eclicks PDF training, and again, that comes with support as well. So support is included. Level 3, which is our lowest tier, gives you access to UX exchanges only, and it's very limited. So if you're just curious and you feel like I just want to try this out just to try it, and it'll bring you down to 107. And I want to make it clear that this is lifetime access. Anyone that signs up after this webinar will be paying on a monthly basis. So just keep that in mind for most of our platforms as well, because we just cannot continue to just give lifetime access. It's been hurting our business, and you guys have no clue. These servers cost. They're not cheap. I'm sure you guys know that. But anyway, moving forward, prior to the webinar, we received an overwhelming response. A lot of our guys wanted to resell and take profits on Eclicks campaigns. So um, you know, I think it was like Rex Madden and a bunch of other people came out to the videos, and they were like, I want to resell this. We had a lot of people really wanting to resell this and offer this. So the Eclicks app was built by experienced consultants. We created a lane for you to charge and take 100% earnings on the accounts you bring in. And, we it's all covered for you. So payouts are made once a month on a scheduled basis. Again, I'm going to save you right now $200 to get into the white label. So head over to redtorrentmedia.com/eclicks. We have our lines open right now. These lines are open for our contributors member, but we felt like, hey, let's put this out there so we could even get you on a call. You could talk to our team. So go ahead and reach out to 813-252-0803. You could even text that if you need the direct buy links. Anything you need, you could text or call that number. These lines will be open till 2 o'clock today. Again, you're going to save $200, okay? Moving forward, we created even multi options as well, and I'll break those down in just a moment. So for the white label, it'll bring you up to $17.97, but you get access to everything at this point. You get to charge your own fees. You get to self-host if you pay in full. So if you decide to pay in full today, you can coordinate with my team and we get you self-hosted. As in, if you wanted to charge, you remember that page that I showed you? We had a lot of people that were like, hey, we want to mark up on those numbers. If you feel like you want to mark up as well, definitely reach out to us. We'd be happy to work with you. So edit logos, you have your private URL, custom login portals, track accounts and payouts. It's all there for you. I want you to keep in mind, we don't do any upsells or none of that mess here. There's no upsells here. but this is a one-time and annual fee so that we can continue to support you. So hear me out here. So we have a one-time $500 fee to set up your account. Okay. So once you become a full pay white label, you don't have to pay this right away. We could totally just, all right, if you need some time, we'll work with you. We're all a team here. We could definitely put a hold on that for sure. Our annual fee is $349, and what this does is it gets you that technical support. So say something happens, you're self-hosting, and something happens. Your server did an update, and then something broke down. It just broke down. Our guys are here to support you, and this helps us to get them paid as well. You understand? So this gets them the support that they need so that they continue to support you. So this ensures that you don't run into any issues down the road, as I said, and we back you up. So let's review all features. So again, you have the ability to create endless campaigns, max flexibility, you have built-in live intent, and so many others built in. Creatives, you have your third-party reach. You could even target by specific zip codes and more. You have your reporting options. You could white label. You have that all there for you. Now, all those links are in the chat. Let's take a moment to review everything one more time. So tier one, what is tier one? How do we differentiate all of this? So you'll be granted access to our primary exchange live intent with access to 1,000 plus publishers, Meetup, Vogue, GQ, and many others. So you still have a lot of the features that you see in here. It's just limited, and you have 1,000 plus reach that you can reach. This has been a favor for everybody. Most people have gone with this option. You get access to all 2,000 plus. You get access to live intent and all updates and all of our private exchanges built in that I've just disclosed a few moments ago. And then again, you have that maximum reach there, 10 plus videos, access to 20 million readers, 200 million readers, and just lots of flexibility there. Our lowest tier is it restricts you to 10 campaigns, and we will be monitoring your account 10 campaigns, and it's like the most restricted option. Okay. The white label is $17.97. Remember that as a full pay member, you have the ability to self-host. And even if you choose the multi-pay option, and you end up self-paying, say, much sooner or later down the road, again, you could totally still self-host. Okay. All right, so this is not an upsell, but it's an invite. The contributors program has been helping a lot of our members out. So what the contributors program is, it's really just, it ties everything of what we do to like in. So a lot of the internal content, like strategies and things that we put out, that gets put out inside of the portal. Okay. Alongside that, a lot of the training, a lot of the we put out documents in there. We have a private chat. We have speedy access. So within that portal, you could access all of our platforms. So you have one central place where you could access everything. Set up calls with us as well. That's been a huge game changer for a lot of us. We've been able to set up calls with our team. I've gotten on calls with folks, and it's just allowed me to learn more about you guys, learn more about me, and then we share a lot through that process. So it's $24.99 a month, and again, you have massive reach there for you as well. And this is not just a support group, but we have an investors corner coming soon. We have a beta corner coming soon. So there's a lot of cool things coming. You get campaign management as well. So let's say you run into a problem and you need us to make some changes to your account. So you get a lot there. Okay, so that link is also in the chat as well. So multi-payers, you have the option again to self-host. Remember that fee is one time, $500 to set up, $349 a year. So I wanted to personally try something we've never done before and provide you with the opportunity to also become a white labeler as well. So right now, that link is in the chat, and I shared it with you. I'll drop it again in the chat, and I promise to answer all of your questions. But as you see here, this link is going to be open till 5 p.m. Our lines will be open till 2 p.m. So you could reach our guys and get your questions answered. I'm going to give you 12 months. I mean, that 12-month link is down there, and you get $25 credited toward the first 3 months. So keep that in mind. So you're just getting credited right back. So keep that in mind. We still have many others as well that have to be credited actually. So, but again, 149.75 per month. And again, you have access to everything of what you've seen here. So again, those lines are open, 813-252-0803. You have till 5 p.m. today. Text or call us or email us if you're overseas, dev support at redtorrentmedia.app. Ask about, our payment options and coupons. We're here to support. So again, lots of flexibility there. And what I want to do really quick is I wanted to do something really cool. The first 25 that sign up today, only the first 25, I'm personally going to give you a $50 credit, but you have to sign up right now. You cannot think about it. I'm going to choose from a list. The first 25 that I see, I will reach out to you and get you a $50 credit, but you must head over to redtorrentmedia.com/eclicks to get signed up. Okay, so you've already seen all of these options. I've already gone over the creatives, and I'm going to touch on the platform once I answer your questions. I'm sure you have a lot of different questions about our platform, and you have a lot of, I'm sure you do at the end. So let's go into our Q&A. So what countries do we support? So we support the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, and many others. So what type of publishers exchanges do we have access to? So we provide you with access to over 20 million readers, 100% logged in. These emails are sent by our exchange partners, Live Intent, Pontiac, and all exchanges that I've mentioned here. Through them, you'll be displayed on many other outlets out there, Meetup, Groupon, and so many others. What is the difference between LV1, LV2, and LV3? These are levels 1, 2, and 3. You are ultimately limited to the publishers and then features within each tier. So tier 1 example, you have access to 1,000 plus publishers. Tier 2, 2,000 plus. You get access to those third-party exchanges and features. Tier 3 is our lowest, and it gives you access to that United States reach only. Are there any monthly fees? There are absolutely no monthly fees, and I'm disclosing that right now. There is no monthly fees. Do you provide support? If so, how? We provide support via email. We have the Red Torrent Media app as well. And if you're a contributor, you'll be able to now call us really soon. We just activated these new lines for our contributors. Um, if you're not a contributor, you would have to just email us. We'll coordinate with you and get you the assistance that you need. I mean, in the end, it's just about, how much support that you need, and that's what you would opt for, and you would essentially buy what you need. So what types of targeting options do you have? So we have zips, locations, DMAs, devices, age ranges, day parting, intent selections, and more. Let's see here. So we give you a variety. How will we know the creative types to provide? So we have a variety of creative types, and the creative types is based off the market that you're targeting, essentially, or promoting, I want to say. So promoting and your goals based off everything that I provided here with your avatar. Do you provide training or anything live? So we provide 100% training. We give you the PDF and lots more with that. So do you have any payment options for the white label? So again, if you're live here, we give you about like near 6 different payment options to choose from. So we give you a lot of flexibility. And again, there is no minimums per campaign, and you have a lot of flexibility. You could spread out your budget, and that is that. So we've reached the end of the webinar. So what I'm going to do now is, again, head over to redtorrentmedia.com /Eclicks. You could call or text us for any questions that you might have. And what I'm gonna do really quick, I'm just gonna pause my screen really quick. I have to grab these links really quick from my Google Doc. And give me 1 second here. I'm gonna grab the individual buy links because I know that for some reason on the last webinar, we had folks say, hey, I'm having issues with the link. So option one, I just left there in the chat. You could see it on your end. This is option two. So this is the favorite for a lot of people. I just dropped that there. And then this is option three. That's broken down there. And then this last one that I'm going to drop here is the multi-pay for the white label. And then the last link is access to the white label options. So that's broken down all there for you. Alrighty, so did you get value from today's webinar? Go ahead and let me know in the chat. I would really, really appreciate that. Go ahead and let me know in the chat if you got value today. This is live. It's about 12:46. No, I'm sorry, 12:43. What am I talking about? So let me scroll up and let's see here. So Chris Mack has a question. How do I contact you, Guillermo? I have a very big fish. How do I talk about it with you? So hey, Chris Mack, you could text me at that number that you see there, and let's get coordinated. I'm happy to speak about this big fish. Big fishes are good. And I love to fish, man. I love to fish. Let's see here. George is asking. George Wilson, I just got back from Paris. All right, missed information. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about, possibilities of a replay next week. Not too sure yet. This is essentially our last and final webinar, but I've dropped those links in the chat. And what I encourage you, George, to do if you can is reach out to us, give us a call. Definitely email us. Excuse me, email us, devsupport at Red Torrent Media, devsupport at redtorrentmedia.app. Let's see here. Which networks are best for targeting B2B? That's a good question. There's a variety of different networks right now built into the platform. Just gonna bring it up here. So I would try Meetup. Meetup is a good one. Meetup is an excellent outlet. But if you were doing more B2B, honestly, I would search business, see what you get for business here. Forbes Media, you got Forbes Media here that's built in. Live intent marketing business. Okay, so look, you just like I mentioned, you could do their live intent marketing business. So this is likely going to go to like any mailings that they have in relations to business. So for this one, if you choose like a live intent marketing business, you're going to see a variety of different websites. But if you're more specific, like let's type in business here. Let's see which one you could go with. There's just so many options to choose from. You could do Business Insider. There's just a variety of different options to choose from. So it's difficult to say. I mean, it all depends. It goes back to that avatar that I was mentioning before. So let's see here. Give me one little moment. So Mr. Kin says that he will definitely be in. So cool. So Jeremy Hines is asking a question. Can I receive recursive payments directly myself with self-hosted white label? Absolutely. We would just need to set you up in that regard. So if you're a full pay, Jeremy, and you're looking to take those payments in yourself, then you would essentially collect those payments on your own, and we would just have to coordinate with you. That's something that we would have to set up a call for, to be honest, and we would have to plan that out. Okay, but we could make that a possibility for you for sure. All right, let's see here. Chris Sam, can you please another recording? I've not been able to attend the live events. Chris Sam, I got you covered. Definitely reach out to me. Dev support at redtorrentmedia.app. Let's see. Derek Wilson, is there a PDF with all 3,000 publishers? Well, we do have a list, but if you need a specific list, I could try and get you one for sure. The programmatic mechanics, they sent us a list, so if you need one directly, that shouldn't be a problem. Jill Highland says, I got in yesterday. Awesome, Jill. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate the love on YouTube. We appreciate your support. All right, so George Morel is asking, other than Meetup, what other newsletters would be good to advertise to your small businesses? Well, you could do like this one here, like I just showed, live intent marketing business. So this is likely going to go out to anyone who's in the business world. Um, Dan Seaman is saying white label purchase still not active. So Dan Seaman, Asan, and Wally and Maria, let's make sure we get Dan Seaman activated ASAP. Dan, definitely make sure to email me, devsupport@redtorrentmedia.app. Make sure to check your spam. Sometimes we end up in these, there's a lot of folders these days, your promo folders, you got a lot of different folders. Rick F is saying, I'm in, great webinar. So congrats, Rick. I'm glad you guys got value off the webinar. Really appreciate that. Auto niche category, Robert Reuter. Let's go, auto. Check this out, Robert Reuter. You got a bunch of options right here to look at. Hot Rod, Automotive. Isn't that a magazine? You know more than I do, Robert, I'm sure. I'm a car guy, but Lowrider, Mustang. So you got a lot of different options here. But if you're working with like a let's say like a dealership, an example I made before is maybe going with like a OfferUp. OfferUp is good. OfferUp is really good for like dealerships, knowing that you could do like zip codes and stuff like that. Alrighty, Roy Revel says I'm in. Congrats, Roy. Hanan Amadi says I'm in as a white labeler. Congrats, Hanan. We appreciate your support here. Let's see here. Michael St. Marie. What other monthly costs are needed for this? There's no other monthly cost at all besides your top up, but there's none. So I want to make it clear there are no monthly costs. Your fee is one time. That's a one-time fee. Michael St. Marie says, you mentioned a marketing budget. How big is that? So you don't really need a large marketing budget for this. Our minimum is only $50. So Cameron says, I wanted tier 2 option, but mistake I ended up with tier 1. Can I upgrade to tier 2? Absolutely. What we could do is we could reimburse you for tier 1 and then upgrade you to the other one if you made a mistake. Anand Amadi says, great webinar. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Anthony Briggs, let's say here, what about obtaining clients? This is our biggest problem. So in that regard, I would definitely take a look at the training because I go into a lot of that. We've been getting some compliments here. I want to just show you here. We not only go into the technicalities this time, but in page 2, definitely check this out because we go into like branding, sales, creative strategies, and some really, really good stuff here. And in our report, which I'm not going to click on right now, definitely recommend checking it out. This webinar, I dropped a lot of gems here today. And if you were, in the beginning, a lot of what I gave you were the fundamentals. So you could take that and apply that moving forward. How much are we charged for clicks? So I mean, it depends on the campaign for your extended reach, but I want to make it clear that so when you set up campaigns here, so when you go into campaigns and you create a campaign and you start choosing your publishers list and you associate it with, not with the extended reach, but with these campaigns. So these campaigns work on a CPM basis. So what that basically means is that for every 1,000 impressions, you will pay a set CPM. So hopefully that's clear. So if I go into audiences and let's say I want to go into demographics really quick. Go into demographics to give you an idea of what those CPMs look like. Okay. So let's see here. Any replay for the webinar, Chris Mack. So hey, Chris, definitely email me devsupport@redtorrentmedia.app. So like I was saying, back to your question in regards to CPM. So these are your CPMs right here. So for every 1,000 impression, you will pay 53 cents. Now, what's recommended by our partners that I mentioned on the webinar here, it is recommended that you focus right here. Focus on intent, age, gender, interest, and income for these campaigns in particular. So when you set up a campaign, I want to make it clear too that this is optional. You don't need to choose this, but what you do need to choose is your publisher because these are the guys that are going to display your ads inside of their email. So hopefully that was clear there. So George Morel is saying here, if I have a website that I'm an affiliate for, so I have no access on the back end, am I able to somehow retarget? Um, so if you're an affiliate, like we had a bunch of paper callers in the last two callers, and last two webinars that I posted, um, you could absolutely retarget a lot of this traffic. I mean, by placing a pixel on your page and retargeting them, say through like YouTube and many other outlets. I mean, we got a lot of different Inbox Lab, which is the company that I mentioned. Inbox Lab, they have a huge reach. So I mentioned them in my presentation. I'll go back to it here. Just let me click back really quick. Give me one little moment. So we have a huge reach here. Let me go back into that slide. Bear with me one little moment. Give me one little second here. So this is a back-end view here. So you can see here, this is the list of exchanges built in. So we have them by categories. We have all of their names, their business domain, all of it broken down here. So we have access to a lot of those, even Inbox Labs, a lot of these guys that I've mentioned. But so I'm on track here. So Live Intent, they're the ones that are providing us with most of the reach. These guys here are going to get you your extended reach. Okay, so hopefully that was clear. And again, you could text or call us 813-252-0803. All links will be removed by 5 p.m. and then we'll go to the drawing board in relations to what next steps we're going to take. It usually happens quick, but by tomorrow we should have an idea if we're going to put out a replay link or not, or just come back again. You know what I mean? I see that there were some of you that missed out, but yeah, let me see here. Any other questions? So Dan Seaman, demographic ladies, 75K income. Do we add CPM for each? I mean, you can, but to be completely transparent, Dan, a lot of what the programmatic mechanics, what they're telling us, Keith Guberman and their whole team, they're encouraging us not to narrow down too much. So if you want to start with like say females, right? 50, say 35 to 55 or whatever. You want to start with those two. If you want to start with just females alone for a particular mailing, then you could do that as well. You know, so I just recommend don't narrow down too much because when you do get approved, after having created all your creatives and publishing and all of that, you want to make sure that you're not wasting any time. You know what I mean? So like you don't have too much data coming from everywhere. So, you know, just keep it simple. Keep it simple in the beginning, and I'll show you here what I mean by simple. I'm going to go into add campaign. So let's say I'm just going to keep it at 30. I'll run it till today. You want to give yourself at least 30 days to collect data. So we give you those calendars here to choose from, and you know, you could set 30 days and so on and so forth, and then you're done. Go into you know, associate creatives, give your creative about a day to get approved, and then you could associate it here. Now, what do I mean by keeping your campaign simple? So we want to just go ahead and choose, say, the United States. Regions, I'm going to leave open. DMAs, I'll leave open. Zips, I'll leave open. So for your first campaign, you know, try to go easy. Keep your day parting open. Device types, I would click all of them. If I were you, click all of them, all of them. So this way you could measure out your data. For your sites, let's say you're just trying to go with Groupon. You want Groupon, you selected a particular category that we provide you with, and you want Groupon to just, you just want to go out with Groupon, okay? Don't choose any third-party audiences. Don't do that in the beginning. I mean, on your second campaign, say you want to go with males. You want to target only males that are on Groupon. So then that means the impressions that you're getting are from males. Maybe on your second campaign, you might want to do your 35 to 44. You know what I mean? Then once you have something and then you start seeing that traction coming in, then you could do 35 to 44 males and then start bringing it all together. Okay? So hopefully that's just a little strategy for you. Reggie Lewis is asking debt consolidation. Let's take a look. Let's see what we have for if there's anything available in that. I know in our extended reach we don't have anything for that here, but we do have finance. So you could do your finance here. Okay, so you have some finance options here for you to choose from. Okay. Um, as far as like trying to target that particular market, I would just think more go back to that avatar. So remember how I was talking about that? Think about where they might be, where they like to hang out. That's ultimately who you want to display ads with. Okay. So the extended reach. So the extended reach, I like to view it as more as like because when you created your main campaigns up here, that's connected to live intent. I want to be clear. But this is connected to more of like your blue kai, your extended reach here, and a bunch of our other players as well. So with these kind of campaigns, you're gonna reach more of like guys who got like 50,000 people on their list. They got a small blog, maybe a business blog or something. So we give you a variety of different options to choose from. So with this one, you know, get a bit more flexible. Like you might find like your CBD type of advertisement and all these other kind of verticals here, medical, dental, finance, insurance maybe. So these are people that have blogs that are much smaller and essentially, you know, they're plugged into a lot of those other exchanges that I mentioned. Like you have like, you know, cruises and stuff. So this would be healthy for like pay per call campaigns and affiliate offers and that kind of thing. but you have more flexibility with this one. But with this outlet here, it focuses more on a CPC basis. And our coordinator, Maria, will be coordinating with you as well. So when you submit these campaigns, we want to make sure that the content aligns with what our partners want. So it's going to take a bit of some team effort for these particular campaigns. So we will be monitoring these campaigns just because we don't want anything too sensitive to be put out there and then it gives us a bad reputation. So we got to be a bit more strict in that regard. So it's basically the same thing. You have your advertiser name, campaign name, start, end dates. You have your targeting options here, as I mentioned. You have a lot of different content options to choose from. And this is all provided by them. Like they're giving us access to this data. You have your countries here. You could do all countries or the United States. You could do your Android. If there's a particular country that you're looking for, reach out to us because it's likely that we might have to do some modifications to your campaign. But if you want to start, obviously you want to target folks 25 to say 60, and you want to go with males, you would click add. You could add more. You could really just break things up if you want. You could do females as well. Um, you would upload your banners. You got a lot of different banner sizes here. You have your budget as well. So here you can see here that, you could start as low as like 5 cents, you know what I mean? You could spend weekly or daily. The minimum is $10. That is the minimum. Okay. And then you finalize your campaign and that's it. You head to your reports and we provide you with a clear, transparent report for you to check out. Um, Yeah, I mean, as far as like tracking goes too, I know some of you are trackers. You like to track things. You use tracking out there. So what you could do is you could even include a tracker. Um, Use a tracker as well. So this way you could see the emails that you're getting clicks from and so on and so forth. Something else that you could do that's pretty cool too is that like you could focus on an email provider. So I thought that was pretty cool. So like let's say I want to get traffic from like I want only Gmails. Like I could go with their Blue Kai and then just go ahead with Gmails. I could get traffic from Gmails. So this is pretty crazy to me that you could do this today. But yeah. Uh let's see here. Goldmine is asking, can you just target local businesses? Well, you can, you would just need to make sure you're choosing the right publisher to do that with. Like Groupon is a good one. Like you got so many that I've just shared. Like Live Intent has their own little private segment that they're doing, I see. Um, so let's see, Dan Seaman male plus 35 to 55 CPM is 53. Right. So you got the math right. You got the math right. Absolutely. So how it works is, a lot of this stuff, like if like you're choosing females and then you're choosing incomes, right? It's gonna eventually show up in under one campaign. So that's not what you're gonna pay individually. They're just giving you an idea as to like what you may be paying. You're gonna be around that ballpark. Okay. So let's see here. So as far as like your budget goes, like when we're dealing with CPMs, you'll pay per 1,000 impressions. So for every 1,000 impression, you will pay that 53 cents, estimated 53 cents. Now, you want to think long term with this because like we use a pacing system in the background, so it's not gonna just deplete your budget. Like your budget is not gonna run dry like right away. It's gonna run over time and you could always pause your campaign. So if for whatever reason you want to pause, you could absolutely pause. What about the travel niche? The travel niche. Let's go into publishers really quick. You might have better luck with extended reach when it comes to the travel niche. Let's go here. Check that out. Inbox Labs. I broke them down in our presentation before. Inbox Labs. They're plugged into us. They have a travel, vertical there that you could focus on for sure. Let's see here. Can you target realtors? Can you target realtors? Maybe real estate, Noble Hill. I'm not sure what that is. Real estate, wisdom, digital media. So it looks like there's a segment here available that you could choose. Looks like realtor, house, real estate. They're involved as well. So yeah. Anthony Briggs says Click Magic. Absolutely. You could use Click Magic as well. Do whatever, like your rotations and all of that. Alrighty, so I got about like 1 minute left here, and I any last questions? Ernest Hill says it would be nice if the webinar was on demand. There's a lot of good information here, and that we could use to refer owners of Eclicks. Very well said. I mean, if you want a copy of this webinar to maybe hand off and maybe edit it your own self, reach out to me because again, like we're the Red Torrent Media community. We're in this together. Reach out to me, and if you need a copy, we're here to support you. So that's why we formed the community. But remember, folks, you could call or text us right now, 813-252-0803. Yeah, get plugged in with Maria, Asan, or Wally, dev support at redtormedia.app. You don't have to call, you don't have to text or anything, but if you want to email, you can. Those outlets are there and they're open for you. Let's see here. Does Groupon email B2B too? I don't know. Let's check. Let's see. I don't think they'll disclose that like that. Let me see. Groupon. Groupon. You have a one here, but this is like France. Holiday Groupon mailing. So you're gonna go out. I wouldn't choose this, but um, this is I don't see anything here where they would email like the actual business, but this would be again a healthy avenue for your clients because it'll essentially go out to their consumers. And that's what you want, right? Like that's what I would want. Um, So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna drop all the links one more time and then we'll begin to wrap up. You guys can leave any questions you have in the chat. I'm going to just copy this really quick. There you go. So all options are there for you. Let's see. Anthony Briggs is asking for the links. There they are. Those are all the links. The number. George Wilson is asking for the number. It's 813-252-0803. And you could text or call us. I've decided to open up this outlet. This is like probably the last time I'm gonna do it because this number was really supposed to be published inside of our contributors portal. So only our contributors have access. And let's see here, the $50 credit. So if you're part of the first 25, you will get that $50 credit. So you're getting your funds right back. So it works out. Let's see here. So going back into the options. So you have option one. Okay, let's go over that really quick. So option one, you have lifetime limited user access. You'll be granted access to our primary exchange live intent, access to over 1,000 plus publishers. So you have, again, um, access to all the publishers that I've mentioned, basically a good majority of them. target your ideal clicker by very specific preferences, geographics. You got the training as well. This has been option 2 has been a favorite for most people because you get all the updates, you get all the features, and your 2,000 plus publishers. Tier 3 is our lowest option. So you're really restricted by features and publishers. So keep that all in mind. So I'm not confusing you here. Option 2, you get 2,000 access to 2,000 publishers. Option 1, 1,000 publishers. Now, the lowest tier here, you're very limited because you're limited to the reach, you're limited per campaign. So it's very limited. This is ideal for like someone who's new. Maybe you're just want to dabble, you want to try it out. So that's cool. Now, if you're a white labeler, you get access to everything. Our third-party partners, 3,000 plus publishers. You get paid as well, 100%. Like we don't take anything out of you or anything. You get paid 100%. Um, the other thing that we do is we set up Zoom calls with you. You get the ability to self-host. And again, you get access to the training and you become essentially a white label partner. So, we're working together and you have a bunch of payment options here to choose from as well. And you're saving as well about $200 in that regard. So keep that all in mind. If you want to learn more about the contributors program here, highly, highly, highly for everyone on this call, we don't have any upsells here. You guys know we don't do that we don't do the funky chicken here. We don't do the funky chicken. We don't like that. So you gotta definitely check this out, man, because we're doing some really cool things on this side of the park. This portal is growing. Our members are enjoying it as well. So definitely want to make sure it's beyond just the help group. You have resources, you have access to basically all of our platforms built in. We're going to be adding on Eclicks as well. So everything is boom, boom, click, 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 nice and easy. All right. So George Wilson is in as a contributor. Awesome. I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Rendell Bradley says, do you do you provide vendors who could create ads? I mean, we don't, honestly, but I could refer you to some people that I know that are always looking for work. And I'll actually, if you're on you reach out to us, I'll definitely share some resources I recommend. So Chuck Eckenberg is asking if we come in at low tier 3, can we update later? Absolutely. Absolutely. You can absolutely update later. It'll cost more. I mean, I don't see why anyone would want to do that, but you could absolutely do that. You're free to absolutely do that. Okay, guys. I'm going to leave the screen up for now temporarily. We're just wrapping up here. I appreciate you all making the time to join me today. And I'm so sorry that you guys been able to miss out both days. Um, Will there be a replay? I'm not sure at this point. I got to regroup with my team. I got to see the direction we're going to go into. In the meantime, remember that you could text us or call us. I'm going to leave this open for now. And, you could reach out to us. And again, you could text or call us and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. This is a platform that, it took a long time to build, but we're happy we were able to do it. And we are happy that we were able to deliver value to you today. So as we wrap up, one last time, were you able to get value out of today's webinar? Did you get value out of today's presentation? Do you feel like, man, I'm leaving with something that I could actually apply today? I'm looking forward to this. Are you feeling enthusiastic? Are you feeling good about this? Let me know in the chat. I would really, really appreciate it. I want to share these comments with everybody who didn't show up. This is gonna be like a whoosh, a smack across the face because they should have been here. They should have been here. But I appreciate you for showing up. You made the time. You're here, and that's what matters at the end of the day. So congratulations to Jill, um, uh, Robert here. Robert says excellent. Jill says excellent webinar. Let's see here. Anan Amadi says, I feel good about this. This is great. To feel good is great. Awesome. Great. So I'm going to leave this up here. Reach out to us. If you have any questions, email devsupport@redtorrentmedia.app. This is Guillermo Mata, and I will see you inside. Remember, it's redtorrentmedia.com/eclicks. And I'll see you there. Speak soon.